Oh my gosh, it's Sunday night.
It's Sunday night.
Which means it's Sunday night service, right?
With
Danny Williamson.
And Dr. Motley.
Dr. Motley. And he is back. And we just were thinking about this. It's been since September since he's been here.
Yep.
And this is December.
And
guys, as soon as you get logged on, hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons, share it, start a watch party, because we are talking gratitude tonight. Are grateful people healthier? Do they live longer? What's their life like? Do they have less chronic disease? All those things. Are grateful people healthier? As soon as we get on, hit your buttons, all right, and share it. I just want to show you something while we're waiting for people. Oh, cheers. Sunday night service.
Thank you.
Scout and Cellar, clean crafted wine right there. There we go.
Good, guys.
Is this not amazing?
It's amazing.
Nothing in it but grapes right there. Pinot Grigio. This is a Pinot Grigio. He didn't get here till literally right before we walked in.
I'm so sorry, but we can do it. But I went to the Titans game today.
Well, that was a bummer. I watched it today.
I watched a little bit of it and we had to leave early from it.
I want you guys to look at this. Kate at the office has put this gigantic book together. Look at this, of our Sunday night services since we started.
Look how
January the 7th. 2018. This is every Sunday night service that we've talked about right here. It's huge. Here's a list of things that people want us to talk about. We still got to go
through all that.
Yeah, we still have it. We've got to make plans. We got to sit down because Dr. Motley's been busy.
We go get crazy.
And he's been out of town a lot, so that's why I've been doing it by myself. But anyway, we're going to get right into this, and then we'll talk about what's going on in our lives and all of that. It's Christmas. It is Christmas, and it's the season of gratitude. Right?
Look what Dan got me.
Speaking of gratitude, look what I gave him for Christmas.
Is that not the best t-shirt? I'm not kidding. It's like one of the best gifts I've ever had. I'm not.
Oh, thank you.
I am wearing this for. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
I love you.
Well, you're welcome. No, I love him too. He's my favorite.
I told her I haven't even
man.
gotten Christmas shopping yet. I haven't.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't buy me presents. I buy him presents. I've never gotten a present from Chris Motley. Just his presence is all I need. It's the only present I need.
I'm changing that from now on. And I'm serious. She said that. My mind, I guarantee you, is going to be with Danny Williamson, getting her a gift.
I brought him even something really cool from Bali.
Bali, the scarf she got me from Bali.
Do you ever wear it?
You know how many times I complimented on that?
No.
I got a scarf from Danny. I'm going to tell you guys. I'll wear it, and people don't even look at me. They're like, "Where'd you get that scarf?" And it is amazingly beautiful.
It is beautiful.
So now it's like Danny Williamson. What can I get her? It's in my brain now because we're like homies. But I love.
We are. We don't ever see each other. I haven't seen each other since the last one.
But she's going crazy.
I'm not going crazy. You're going crazy.
And she's going.
He's all over the country. Anyway, we're talking gratitude. I'm grateful that I know this man, even though I don't ever get to see him.
Oh, come on.
What have you been grateful for today? Right? What have you been grateful for? I want you to pop it up here. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you're grateful for. Lachelle, I don't have my glass. I can't see.
I know, Lachelle Thompson.
Okay, is that who says, yeah, I can't see.
Lachelle.
She says she's grateful. Dr. Motley is back. Yeah, me too. It's not the same without it.
We're doing it.
What have you been grateful for today? What did you stop and say thank you for? Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, your higher power, whatever you believe in. What did you, what did you do at all to cultivate an attitude of gratefulness in your body today?
I have been trying to every morning.
Mm-hmm.
I say practice 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. Right when I get up and right when I go to bed.
Yes.
I have been trying to find 1 to 2 things, and I know that there is research that I try to find something to focus my gratitude on.
Yes.
And whether it's to the Lord, to Jesus, to like what you guys, who you guys pray to or meditate about. And I do try to practice that.
Yes. Well, that's people. We're going to talk about that. There's research in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cicero said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but it is the parent of all others."
Oh heavens!
Gratitude, right? I'm grateful. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be in my little house. I'm grateful to have my practice. I'm grateful to have my kids. I mean, I pretty well lost everything, went on food stamps and a medical card, put myself through nursing school with 2 little kids. left my home in Paducah, moved to a place, I mean, just whoa, and in the middle of all hell breaking loose, it's very difficult to be grateful.
Yes.
It's very difficult to cultivate that and to every day say, thank for me, Jesus. So thank you, Jesus, for, the fact that I was even able to get food stamps all those years ago, right? And I was grateful for that, but you don't think that way. You're like so horrified over whatever's going on that it's hard to see the gratefulness in it. But grateful people, research shows they have an edge on the not so grateful when it comes to their health, which I think is common sense probably, but we have to have studies behind this stuff, right? Yes. According to Robert Emmons is the leader in gratefulness research out there. He's the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. He says, or studies have shown, that grateful people have stronger immune systems, they have lower blood pressure, they have better sleep quality, they have a reduced risk of heart disease, and they report fewer aches and pains. Ooh. They also get more regular exercise, and they eat a healthier diet. Now, isn't that interesting? I wonder, do they eat healthier and exercise more because they're grateful, or are they grateful because they're doing those things? I don't know.
I think it could be both ways, though. I think that it feeds off of each other, right?
Right.
Yes. I mean, like with lower blood pressure,
yes,
better sleep quality. And I know that we probably have this probably in the research, but I was reading a research article about in University of Texas where, and sorry guys, I lost my voice last week. I'm not sick. I'm good. I just lose it sometimes.
You better not be sick because he's sitting right here beside me.
I lose my voice sometimes because I talk too much. Anyway, so I read an article about University of Texas where they did 3 groups. They had one group that was grateful. They had them write about a grateful idea.
Yes.
The second group was like, let's just write about complaints.
That's right.
Third group was like, just tell you about like what just is going on in your life. And they said that the first group that was grateful found out that sleep, it was about a sleep study, that their sleep was actually better.
Yes.
And that their spouses or their loved ones found out that they said they actually have a better mood, a better attitude when they're grateful, like when they just wrote something down.
That's right. This is in here, actually. Positive psychology research, which is a branch of its research, positive psychology. Gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. And we're going to talk about relationships and gratitude. It's quite fascinating.
I want to hear about Dani's relationships and gratitude.
Trust me, there's nothing to hear about. Woo! Okay, grateful people are reported to feel more optimistic and happy. They better mitigate adverse experiences. This is fascinating. And they have stronger interpersonal relationships and bonds. Okay. Yep. Grateful people have deeper friendships. The research shows this. One study found that college students, now this is college students, who said that they were more grateful at the start of their first semester, also reported having more social support and better friendships at the end of the semester. Okay. People who report better social support, community. This is community. We're talking about community, which is my 6th step to healing that I have a better immune system function. The people who have better community, their bodies can fight off illnesses better and they heal faster after getting sick. When you have good friends and family, you will probably feel happier and be less stressed. It's fascinating because you're not as lonely. And I'm telling you, loneliness is killing us. So absolutely killing us.
A correlation between like community,
yes,
gratefulness, increased immunity, decrease in sickness.
Yes. Isn't it something?
It happens, man.
I know, right? Grateful individuals experience a wide variety of social and psychological health benefits. And this is from 2011 study, 2010 studies, all kinds of studies. You guys can find these online like I did. Studies show that grateful individuals tend to be more likely to count their blessings in life while seeing their experiences, whether good or bad, as gifts. to be thankful for, whether they are negative or positive experiences, right? Let's see. Grateful individuals tend to report greater vitality and agency, along with less anxiety. Grateful people have less anxiety. In addition, gratitude is linked to traits indicative of better physical health, including conscientiousness, right? Emotional stability and optimism. Isn't that something?
It is. It's amazing because that correlates. I think me and Danny talked about this. I mean, like literally a year ago, that they were talking about in neuroscience where certain parts of the temporal lobes where you store anxiety. If you have a grateful attitude, I was reading this in a study just yesterday because I was preparing for this, and it said that when a person practices gratitude, depression,
yes,
anxiety,
yes,
and frustrations are unable to fire within the brain when you practice gratitude. Like the pathways for you to fire these things cannot happen when you have gratitude firing.
Isn't that incredible?
It's amazing.
So that's why if you're grateful, your body, your stress, we know this, we've talked about this many, many times, you and I in here, your body doesn't know the difference between good stress and bad stress. Your body doesn't know the difference, right? I mean, we know the difference, but your brain doesn't know the difference. And stress is stress. But when you're grateful, I know, right? Right? In general, more grateful people are happier, more satisfied with their lives, less materialistic, and less likely to suffer from burnout. The research shows. Grateful. And I believe that, less likely to suffer from burnout. I mean, I get tired. We just were talking about this before we turned this on. We're tired, we're working like dogs and we're tired. But I'm not burned out. Like we need a break and I've got next week off and, but I'm not burned out. If I weren't grateful for everything, my job and my patients in that office, I mean, I can see where you'd be burned out.
Yeah.
Right?
It would almost give you like a new tag on life where you,
yes,
people who go to a new job where they get like revitalized, but like in our realm, like we're helping people all day. And I guess many of you out there are helping people as well. But I could see that like we have to keep a vision of why we do what we do.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Some days I will actually monitor myself. Driving down the road, I've been listening to a lot of Christmas music to try to get myself in the mood.
Yes.
And then I will try to say, I'm thankful for, literally guys, like I'm thankful for my mom. I'm thankful for Danny. I'm thankful for people in my life. I'm thankful. And then it really goes into the work day where I'm like, whatever comes at me, comes at me. It's okay. I really feel that way.
Yes.
But I have to look into that about increased immune. That's really good. Like with my patients, I got to like start to recommend that for them though.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, it's so good.
We have seen those who have negative emotions. We see a rise in cardiovascular disease. This is a study from 93, 2000, 85. I mean, there's a ton of studies. Negative emotions, less gratitude, rise in cardiovascular disease. Well, I know that. My ex-father-in-law, one of the most negative people you will ever meet. I don't know that I've ever. Now, he likes me, which is odd because he is mean as a hornet to people. And I mean mean to everybody around. He's just mean. And he has horrible cardiovascular disease, had a widowmaker, heart attack. Well, almost had a heart attack, had a widowmaker. Mean as a hornet. So I believe that, 100%. They have a rise in cardiovascular disease. Relaxation techniques reduce blood pressure in those that utilize them. Well, that's common sense. We know that. It's not rocket science, right? Ton of studies on that. Physical health is dependent on having quality connections to others and leading a life of purpose. A life of purpose. What's your purpose?
I would think that would make complete sense though, where sorry, I was yelling at the game. Sorry, my voice is going. But if you have purpose, though, and that means you have vision, which means that you have an end goal, which would be like maybe we're talking about this like oxytocin and endorphin release, where if you actually can create the chemistry within your body to actually create a vision, that would make sense. I know we're going to get into that. That is something right there. But I'm still thinking about your ex-father-in-law that was mean as a hornet.
Mean. Irritable, mean, said horrible things. I went on one vacation with him before we got married. We drove to California. Bad mistake.
Really?
And I said, never again will I be on a vacation with that man. And close to 30 years later, I've never went on another trip with them. He was awful. You talk about bad energy, mojo, not happy, not healthy, and falling apart now physically. I mean, miserable.
This is the things I love about doing this show. I love when I get Dani and she finds stuff that irritates her. And I love the expression she does whenever I find something that like she's like, I didn't like it and I hate it. I hate it.
I'm never going back. Never
and
going
I wish
again.
I was like on the
never
wall and
have.
I could watch her and I'd be like, tell me how you feel, Dani.
Oh,
just tell me.
Oh yeah, terrible. Oh my gosh. Okay, listen, we're going to talk about Mexicans and how healthy they are. I mean, not healthy, happy. I don't know if they're healthy or not, but there was a longitudinal study, right? 2,200 people, 2,300 people, older Mexican Americans.
Okay.
Those who reported high positive affect compared to those with less positive affect, right?
Yep.
So they're happier,
Mm-hmm.
high and low. The ones who had a high positive affect were half as likely to have become disabled or have died during a 2-year follow-up study.
Oh, wow.
This is a big study in 2000, right? And I would think that would go, you don't have to be Mexican American. You can be Muslim or American American or African American or whatever. And I believe that's the same, right? High positive affect. More than 2 decades they studied. They have reported that evidence that meditation helps people self-regulate stress, anxiety, chronic pain, and various illnesses, right? And there's all kinds. Who meditates on here? Do you ever meditate?
I do. I was, especially with like studies that showed about what we're practicing now.
Yes.
They say that, we've talked about this before, when you have your pineal gland, which helps regulate melatonin in sleep.
That's right.
Pituitary, that regulates all your other hormonal glands, your thyroid, your adrenals, your ovaries, your testes, and hypothalamus, which is your thermostat for stress that comes in. When you meditate,
yes,
I've read studies where, like, I try to practice myself, that they say that you are actually encouraging and nourishing the pineal gland, which actually is a gland, like literally a size gland right here. It's like the size of a pine. It looks like a pine cone. And as you pray and meditate, that you actually train your pineal gland to get larger because of strength. Like it's like a muscle. You build it up. The more you meditate or you pray and you're thankful and grateful, you actually encourage the body to release good chemicals into the rest of your body, which then affects your hypothalamus and then helps you with your thyroid, your adrenals, and your ovaries. And so that research is that the more you pray or meditate,
yes,
the more you actually encourage your body to receive download. Like literally like prayer, your reception to God, your reception to, like if Dani was giving me a good thought, literally she goes, I'm sending good vibes to Chris. And I'm like, I'm sending good vibes to Dani. She's like, I feel that because I'm training this area of my brain. And they said that the saints of old in scripture even said that even some Buddhist monks who practice like the Om, they do that and you think it's kind of odd, but what they're doing is they say that the pineal gland actually is cultivated and strengthened by Om frequencies.
Yes.
It's theta. And
yes.
so you build it and then you are more able to download from it. And so gratitude, I do try to say, what I like to say, guys, is that in the morning, I try to let that be my morning prayer. Like,
yes,
here can I be thankful for something like this is crazy. This is what me and Dani talk about. If you had 10 things in the day that we look at and go, I'm going to have to face 10 stresses. But if I can find one good thing out of those 10 things, like 1 or 2 things, like why wouldn't I focus on those things?
That's right.
I'm asking myself, exactly. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Like, it really is. Like I'm trying to focus on 1 to 2 good things and go, it literally sets my day off in a good manner. Like no matter what the other 8 or 9 are, this is my good part of my day.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's attitude. This is what I find fascinating. Being able to move on despite negative stressors does not demonstrate luck on the part of those successful individuals who can move on despite stressors, right? A death, a divorce, a job loss, getting fired, breaking up from a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. That's not luck. But what it is, it demonstrates a concept, of course, what we all know as and have talked about, called resilience. Resilience is one of my all-time favorite words because I feel like I'm pretty resilient, and many of us have risen from the ashes, right? Psychological resilience refers to effective coping and adaptation, although faced with loss. Harlan's right here below our knees. And so he's just standing here looking at, I wish you all could see this. Look, I mean, literally, oh, you can't see, sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, resilience. Effective coping and adaptation, although faced with loss, hardship, or adversity. Resilience to certain events has been linked to elasticity in certain metals. Remember, we talked about this briefly last time, and I don't understand the whole elasticity to metals thing.
Elasticity.
This is a study in 1993. Yeah, resilience to certain events. I don't know what that means exactly. Physical health benefits of being, there are tons of physical health benefits to being grateful, right? But research has just begun to explore the mechanisms accounting for the gratitude health relationship. We need a whole lot more studies on it, right? Because they require for us to really say it's hard to do a randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled study on gratitude.
There is there's a great book that I have at home. It's called The Science of Gratitude.
Yes.
And they do quite a bit of research and studies about certain practices that would increase gratitude. And I've got to get an elasticity in metals. That's just still working on my brain. But they did find that overall, with all the studies they did, the whole book, it cost me like $130 for this book. I know, I mean, for this one book. But like you just said, the main common theme was, what are you grateful when you get up in the morning?
That's right.
What do you write down in the morning?
What do you write down? And this was the next thing. Intervention work suggests that participants asked to create daily or weekly list of the things that they're grateful for, report fewer physical ailments by the end of the study. Wow. And this was a big study in 2003. Grateful individuals tend to report less stress and better sleep habits. Isn't that something? And that's a huge study in 2009. Such results are in line with the work noting the ability of general positive affect to promote physical health. A positive mood promotes good physical health. I've got someone in my neighborhood who is extremely negative, very doom and gloom, very never smile. It does not matter what happens. I mean, just like that. It's just awful. And she's got a world of health problems, a world of health. And I've said multiple times, just smile. Just smile. Just smile. Today, I ran into her on the in the car, and literally, just like that, sitting at the stoplight, just miserable. And it's just sad. It's just sad because you know what? She owns a home. She has a car. She has a roof over her head. And for God's sake, if you own a home or you have a car, you are in the top 1% of wealth in the world. Top 1% of wealth in the entire world. So don't tell me you don't have something to smile about. No, because you're not living under the Jefferson Street Bridge tonight.
And we're not truly if looking at some of the documentaries that some friends have sent to me about kids who take care of their baby brothers and sisters, and they're 6 years old, taking care of their baby brothers and sisters who are 1 or 2 years old.
That's right.
And I went to a seminar a while back, and they talked about somebody who looks dread and down all the time. So this is we're talking about this, and they talk about a reticular formation in your brain.
Okay.
So if neighbors or people around you have a negative thought or negative idea, and if it's trained in their brain to be negative, and we want them to smile, truly their brain creates, they call it a reticular activating system. It means it actually grows a neuronal network, network.
I love that.
That grows in their brain.
Yes.
If they're negative, to only perceive negative things from what they see. So if they're negative, they literally create a filter, literally like an oil filter. You guys get it? What I'm saying?
Yes.
An oil filter in your brain, that anything that passes through you will only filter out what's negative. So it's like Instagram. You go on Instagram, you're like, that's a great picture. What's the filter? The filter is, I'm only going to filter out what's negative to me. So her neighbor's going through, it's I only see the negative in things when there are so many good things out there because we train our brain to receive negative things.
You bet. Well, let me tell you one other thing about Louise. I do have amazing people in my neighborhood. I really do. I know so, Louise, but listen, this is a funny story, and y'all will appreciate this. Like, I am extremely a tightwad. I'm a single mom. I watch every penny. But for this neighbor, 2 weeks ago, I was going to have her leaves done in her entire yard because I had mine done. I know what mine costs is $75, and I figured hers would probably be, but I didn't have time to do it. And so I'm very tight with my money. I knew I had the money. Do you know that I sent him over there to do her leaves? Did not say who. Clearly, she would have known who it was from because mine was being done, but he didn't say. She refused it. Refused to have her leaves done. Said it's a present. It's a present. It's a Merry Christmas to have all your leaves up. And she said to him, "What's wrong with my leaves?" or something like that. Do they not look good? And his comment to me was, "She's very salty." I said, "Yeah, she's pretty salty. All right." And I said, "Okay." So he texted me and said, "She refuses to let me clean her leaves as a gift from you to her." And I said, "All right, I'll save my money. And fine, just come on home." I mean, can you believe it? But I would have been grateful. Good Lord, if somebody said, "Danny, I'm going to do your leaves for you," I'd have said, "Come on, there's a backyard too. Go back there too." I mean, yeah. Isn't that funny? But yeah, she refused to do it. She just, it's okay. It's okay. And you can't receive gifts too when you're ungrateful. I believe that. It's hard to receive when you're that unhappy.
It is. I mean,
it is. But this is interesting. So speaking of happiness, sometimes, and we've talked about this, we think that we need to be happy to be grateful, right? But that's not what the research shows. Research has shown that starting a gratitude practice, this is fascinating, and this is so much needed. A gratitude practice works best for teenagers who are not very happy and grateful to begin with, right? Teenagers, it works amazing. It shows, and when they did this study, they became more grateful and they became more happy, but it showed that they do not need to be happy to be grateful, but that gratitude leads to greater happiness. And imagine, see, for me, like I just am a new board member on the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I'm the newest member here on the board, and it's great. I've never been on the board of anything, but when we talk about gratitude and we talk about teenagers and happiness, we have an epidemic of suicide in Williamson County. For sure we do, but nationwide and worldwide, and just imagine if we could start cultivating in little kids, grade preschool, kindergarten, because middle school, I mean, we have young kids, 8, 10, 12 years old committing suicide, So if we could somehow help cultivate gratitude in those children, and then hopefully maybe they would become happier.
Yes.
Yes. Bullies, and you've got all those things that are involved with suicide. But I mean, gratitude, happiness does not lead. You don't have to be happy to be grateful. You can be grateful and then become happy.
I agree. I think that when habitual practice of finding things that you are positive about would lead to happiness, because they say that researcher says that we, on the majority, only look out for the negative. They say that most of our thoughts are negative. Psychologists say so. Right when we get up in the morning, we're actually thinking negative thoughts like, what's the next bill I have to pay?
Isn't that something?
What is the boss I have to encounter? What are the people I have to encounter at work? We're trying to go, what is this something we can be positive about? And I would say that it would be a daily practice, because this is what I research. They say that what is gratitude in a sense? Is it a feeling? Is it an emotion? Is it a mood? Is it an actual noun?
I just wrote that. You didn't even know that. Is gratitude a verb, a noun, a feeling, an attitude, a virtue, a moral sentiment, a coping response, a skill, an attitude? What is it?
What is it? But like from what you just said, it's all of those.
Yes.
So you practice gratitude to train the brain to then create the filter where you go, I will only look at things and see the gratefulness within it.
Yes.
Gracias, like gracias, or grazie, like in Italian, it means graciousness, gratefulness. So then you train your brain to see what you're thankful for in each event. So let's say we go out and we have a patient or something. you have a bad day, something's not going right, but
Yep.
you go, I'm filtering my brain, creating a filter where I'm like, I'm going to see in this patient what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I have this opportunity, and it helps me grow. And I think that's what gratefulness will make happy, because I don't know about you, but I'm just saying, like, I love it. I'm just going to say it, like when you have like the millennial range, a millennial demographic.
Yeah.
You talk about teenagers.
Yes.
It is very hard for this age range nowadays to be grateful about stuff.
You bet.
It is really hard because the information is so easily able to get to people, where things are made easier.
That's right.
And I'm not putting anybody in that age range. I have my niece and my nephew in the millennial range. I'm just saying.
I love those patients.
I love them.
Oh, I love them. They're sassy.
And they're like,
I'm
going to get this.
I know that. And I'll be talking. They'll be going right here on their phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm looking up whatever it is I said, I mean, I'm like, oh, put your phone down. But I love that age group.
I do too. And it's funny because I actually have them come in and they'll go, well, why don't you just like do that on an app on your phone? I was like, do you know the app? And they're like, no, but I know there has to be an app for it. And I'm like, it makes me laugh so hard. I'm like, oh my word. So I'm just saying gratefulness, like even in that group, cultivating gratefulness, that is a great idea.
Yeah, for the younger
kids. That's a great idea.
Gratefulness.
Gratefulness is a daily practice within schools.
You bet. So challenge you, those of you that are watching that have got kids, anybody's got little kids, well, any of us, we've all got kids, even grown kids, ask them what they're grateful for today, tonight, before you go to bed. I forget to ask that to my kids, what are you grateful for? What do you do to show gratitude? I mean, how do you show gratitude? Ask them. And I mean, are you a grateful person? I am a grateful person. Now, I spent a lot of years with my head and up my own ass, not being grateful. I mean, I guess I was grateful, but not being great, just trying to survive. But boy, I'm telling you, there is something about turning 50 to where
she don't look 50 at all.
I'm 54 in 3 weeks. Can you believe it? Well, your birthday's coming up too.
Yep.
January 30th. No, December 30th. Yours is coming up. Yeah, Dad's is December 30th or January 30th. Mine's the 18th. And so we're going to be, Well, anyway, something about turning 50 to where you are just liberated to. I've had 4 years almost of just been saying, I've always said what I thought, but grateful, just saying it, and doing it and being it. If you don't like it, change it. If you're not grateful or if you're unhappy, then friggin' change it. Change your job, change your friends, change everything, change your church, change whatever you need to change, right? Or maybe it's not any of those things. It's just from right here. Maybe you need to be changing your own heart.
Yes.
And looking deep into what's going on.
Look at your own life. Like when you.
Yeah, look at your own life. What have you created? Did you create a mess? Well, then fix it. I mean, I have zero tolerance. Well, I have a good story of resilience and survival, but I have an instinct in me that is of survival, right? I mean, you fire me, well, I'm going to find a way to make it right. You get molested as a child, well, screw you. I'm going to move on and do this. Somebody beats you up. Well, I mean, you can't lay down and die. I'm grateful for every one of those experiences and caring for my mom now, who has Alzheimer's, although she says she doesn't. Her church says she does. I don't know if she has dementia or Alzheimer's. And we had she had a big fight. I didn't fight. I'm not fighting anymore 2 days ago about this. But I have been going through, and I have them in there, and I almost brought them out, all these old pictures, and from her house, and it says old pictures. And I started going through them. Mm-hmm. There's a picture of the child molester, her second husband. I haven't laid eyes on that man since the day the police came. I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I can't remember anyway, to the house, and he got chased away and all this mess and whatever. I haven't seen him in that many years, and he's still in Marshall County, Kentucky. But there was a picture of him when they were married, and I looked at it, and then like 5 pictures later, there's her 3rd husband who would beat the shit out of you. My senior year almost killed me. And I saw that picture, and I'm sitting looking at these pictures. People I haven't seen that first husband, second husband in 40 years, because I'm 54. Oh, more than 40 years, 45 years probably. I don't know. But you know what? I looked at those pictures, and it's quite interesting. I saved them. Why did I save them? I threw away a bunch of stuff, but those pictures all went back in the box. And it's weird, but I was shaking, physically shaking right here at this, where I'm sitting right here on here. But I am so grateful, not that those things happen to me, but that I can relate to patients.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to other people who say they were molested as a child. I can relate to people who say they were beaten up by a stepfather or anybody. I'm grateful for the fact that I can empathize with that, because I tend to have a personality that's not very empathetic.
Mm.
And I don't know why that is.
Well, because I'm saying, like, you've had to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You've had to go hard in your life to, like, prove yourself. When that happened, though, when you did that, like you said, you're not happy those things happen.
No.
And you see that being able to positively affect somebody,
yes,
the experiences makes you grateful that you can actually take the harm and the hurt and the pain from one event. I know it's hard, but you can expect tons of people from it, just from your influence.
Well, it's interesting.
Because you've got things coming down the pipe that you're going to be able to influence tons of people.
Yeah, and we talk about it in the book coming out. And I had a patient this week who has the same ACE score that I have, which is a 6, an adverse childhood experience score. And 6 is not great. Mine is probably a 7. But you weren't here, but I did an adverse childhood experience Sunday night service. And I just have started giving that survey and you should do this in your office to every new patient. And she had a 6, and she had some molestation and stuff. And I said to her, I said, look, we've got the same score. And this was a 22-year-old this past week, and I said, and they're not there to hear my story, but I said, I get this. Your past does not predict your future. They say it does, health-wise and cardiovascular-wise and all that, but you don't have to be your past. And she started crying and all these things. But I'm telling you, every experience that you go through can either make you bitter or make you better. It's as simple as that. And I'm not bitter over any of that. I feel like I'm better, for sure. I don't know how grateful I am for those things to have happened, but we have to, as human beings, we have to turn those experiences around and find something good to propel you forward with it, don't you think? Or you get stuck like Bitter Betty over there. Her name's not Betty, but
Bitter Betty.
Bitter Betty.
I completely agree. I think that when you take an event or a trauma, and they say that once you cultivate the trauma or the memory, and it takes such a huge impact in your neurology, in your nervous system.
Yes.
It impacts you. You then take that memory, and then you have a biochemical. We talked about biochemistry, how we create a biochemical response as in creating an emotion with the memory or the thought. Like, this happened to me, it creates anger. And I have all these chemicals, all these neuropeptides, all these hormones in my bloodstream creating anger. Then he chooses to go, well, there's one thing that happens. If I have the memory, she looks at a picture, what does it do? It makes her shake.
Yeah, I was physically shaking sitting here. Ella was here.
And it goes, it makes me shake. It's like, because there could be anger, resentment, or frustration. The chemical response to the memory still is attached. Yeah. So there's an attachment. If I'm just saying this, as Dani progresses, as you and I progress in our traumas, and we go, you know what? We have to separate the memory of the thought from the chemical reaction, because we understand that the chemical response is detriment to our bodies.
Right.
Like, we have to move forward. It's okay. And what Dani's done is like, what's great about what you do? Like, I'm serious. Repetition and practice and moving forward is a physical activity that trains your brain to say, I'm separating myself from this. And I guarantee you, over the years, it's get less and less and less and less. Where the thought doesn't, she goes, no, I took physical action to train myself not to associate the memory of the trauma with the chemical reaction. Like, I literally did something in my body to prove that my brain and my body, because this is what happens. If you have a thought or a memory, your body has been trained to release a chemical to feel a feeling. So your brain and your mind are not, your brain and your body are not congruent. what Danny's doing is like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get going. He's like, nobody, I want you to feel a certain feeling because I'm mentally and putting myself in a way to move forward. I want you to be congruent with me. See how repetition creates a new feeling.
Yes.
And that's what she's doing.
Yes.
It's amazing. Oh my God. I love it. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, in the words of Willie Nelson, one of my all-time favorite people.
That's why I love doing this. She's like, in the words of my friend Willie
Nelson. He says to me, when I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around. Willie Nelson. I just love him. I mean, you know, you got to love Willie. And then there's the Buddha. And he says, let us rise up and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. Oh. That's the Buddha. That's kind of how I think. And then there's Jesus. I mean, you got Buddha, you got Willie, Buddha, and Jesus. These are three people that are really important. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. 1 Thessalonians, right? Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. And that's true. You can find something to be thankful for in every circumstance.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, I can't speak. I've never lost a child. I don't, you know, there's bad things that happen. So I don't know how you'd find something to be thankful for in something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not dare saying that I understand anything like that. But rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. Willie, Buddha, and Jesus. They're right there at the top there. But research does suggest that gratitude inspires people to be more generous and pro-social, right? Gratitude, sure. Because ungrateful people are going to hibernate and never get out. Never. Decline every invitation, everything. I keep doing it just because, you know. I mean, I know that she's never going to show up, but anyway, I keep inviting. Anyway, they're more pro-social and they're more generous. I'm generous. I was going to have her leaves raked and paid for it, all that. But anyway, and I'm social. Hey, what's going on? Strengthens relationship. Gratitude strengthens relationships, including romantic relationships. Well, mark that one out. Crap. And may improve the climate in workplaces. Gratitude. Grateful people. Hell yeah, it'll improve the climate in a workplace. Have you ever worked in an office that has a bully? I have, and it stinks. Absolutely stinks. I swore that I would never work in an office of bullies or catty people. And it doesn't have to be women. Men stir it too, like Chinese cooks, worse than a Chinese cook. I mean, oh my gosh. I have the most unbelievable office of women there who are just like women of God and well, Allie, the office manager, any of you know Allie, knows she's one of the most grateful, anointed people on the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. She prays over my office every day. And I mean, and patients. And I mean, patients come to me and say, Allie took my hand and prayed right in there in that room for me the other day. And I mean, that is a culture of gratefulness.
Yes.
And it starts from the top in your practice, in your business. If your business is suffering, if your business is a total shit show going on over there, well, let me tell you something. The culture of a business starts at the top, at the very top. I happen to be the top, and I'm pretty good, but Allie Huddleston is really the moral compass mm-hmm. in that office. She really is. I mean, she's not nearly as high strung as I am. And I'm good. And I'm grateful and I'm good. And I give all the glory to God. But Allie truly. Mm-hmm.
She like, you guys make a good pair.
We do make a good pair. We do. But I'm just telling you, we got to find ways to be more grateful. You know, what if your life depended on it?
Yes.
And it does. The research shows, quite frankly, the quality of your life probably does hinge on, or a portion of it does, on how grateful you are.
I do. I think that with anxiety, when in the office, we'll see a lot of patients that come in and have a common theme is like, I have tight neck pain, shoulder pain, pain between the shoulder blades. Some people come with carpal tunnel syndrome, elbow pain. And you say like gratefulness, being thankful. The one thing that you'll find in Chinese acupuncture, they'll say that the pericardium, which is the muscles around the heart, the muscles that control the function of your heart, and the thyroid and adrenals, which are your stress mechanisms, that those are the meridians that are the most active or the most, in a sense, deficient, that overworked from our lives. And the emotions that those organs are meant to control in our lives, the heart is joy, love, any feelings of being up or down, or can't figure something out. Doesn't make sense. I can't figure something out, and I give a lot of love, I don't receive them. And it's amazing to me that when a patient comes in and they have these symptoms, and you tell them one thing about their condition, and me and Dani can see that every day, is the value or the worth that they place, in a sense, on themselves. We realize that all value and worth comes from a different source, from a higher source.
That's right.
But there is some form that you go, I don't think I'm worthy to receive this love. I don't think other people value me. And if they don't value me, or I don't think I'm worthy, it's like, how can you be grateful? The practice of gratitude is thanking God, or thanking like people around you, like, I'm thankful I have this in my life. I think I have that in my life. And when you turn the key, you almost get to a point where you say, I'm so thankful that I recognize that other people see in me something I would never have seen before. I'm thankful for Dani. I'm thankful the way that she loves me. Why does Dani love me? Because there's something in me, and there's something in her that I would recognize in her or me that's, in a sense, worthy to be thankful for.
Yeah.
And so you see, like, why do people love you? Well, nobody loves me. Yes, they do, if you really looked at it in one way. And so I'm just saying, like, the heart and the pericardium and the thyroid all work on the idea of worth and value, the up and down, unrequited love. Gratefulness will cultivate you to be recognizing how other people really see you, because you're programmed.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Dani has been raised, in a sense, and moved herself into this idea, like, I've got to go, I've got to practice, I got to train, I've got to get going, and then I got to leave everything behind because I don't have time. And that's the truth. But there's that part of her that goes, people didn't see the value in me, so I'm going to go and create repetition. Be grateful. Because there are people out there that are like, if 3 or 4, 10, 15, whatever, people didn't like see it, there's thousands of people that love what Dani does. Repetition creates her awareness of what those people see in her. It's gratitude. That is gratitude. I'm grateful for the people that recognize what she does, what I do. It's not ego. It's not what you guys are saying, I'm egotistical. No, not at all. It's literally like, she goes, I see this. God instilled that. She recognizes it, trains her brain. Her brain then goes, oh, I do see the value in what I do. I see the worth in what I do. It creates more gratitude. Okay, sorry.
Isn't this something? Don't you just love him? I mean, he's great. I miss him. Oh, my goodness. Well, all right, guys, we have to get out there and create and cultivate gratitude, right?
Gratitude.
That's right. It's a season of giving. It's a season of gratitude. We are 8 days, 9 days away, or 10 days away or something, 9 days away from 2020. Not only a new year, but a new decade. Unbelievable.
Oh my
right?
goodness.
It's a brand new decade. I'm going to be 55. Oh, no, I'm not. What am I talking about? I'll be 55 in 2021. 2020, I'm going to be 55. I'm so excited. It's going to be the best year of my adult life, other than the years, the 8 to 19 months there I had my kids.
I love
it's
this
going to be
portion.
an amazing year.
I love this part of it because it gets towards the end, so I can be Q&A. Like, it's supposed to be 2020,
Uh-huh.
and we've all had movies when we were younger about how we're going to have flying cars, pills that we could take that would replace a whole meal, like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
And we're still driving great cars on the road because it's never going to go away. But let's focus on Dani in 2020. You have a book that's been coming out.
Oh, yeah, in June.
Let's talk about that.
It's going to be great. We have 5 of 10 chapters done.
Okay.
We have the past is not your present or your future. chapter done. I mean, we've got all kinds of chapters done actually, but we just finished, well, we're tweaking now the Eat Well. So it's got a whole first section. It's 10 chapters. We have 5 done. Whole first section or 4 chapters. And now we're starting with Eat Well, Sleep Well, Move Well, Poop Well, Decrease Stress, Cultivate Community, right? So it's actually Eat Well, Sleep Well, Move Well, Poop Well, De-stress well, and commune well or something. We've got to figure out something with well on the end of it. My 6 steps to healing. We started with Eat Well as the big ones, and it is a huge chapter. People, we have already close to 200 references and only 5 chapters. It's actually going to be really thick. Yeah, so it's going to be great. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the average book on Amazon,
like, here's my new book.
Yeah, here's my new book. It's like War and Peace. It's really a fascinating process writing a book, but it's coming out in 2020, and I'm going to have to sell a whole lot of them to pay for this. So I'm hoping that, wouldn't it be great to be a New York Times bestseller and to be on Dr. Oz? You got to set your goals high, and to be Jen's first female, I'm the author. She's the writer. That's right. The first female author to be a New York Times bestseller.
You will be a
Wouldn't
New
that
York
be
Times
something?
bestseller. There's no doubt in my mind.
I mean, it'd be great. If there's any connections out there to Dr. Oz or Oprah's favorites, let's get there. Oh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, it's exciting. 2020 is going to be really exciting. So, and I'm grateful. It doesn't matter. If the book doesn't sell at all, guess what? My patients are going to have amazing book. They can say, hey, my nurse practitioner wrote a book. Look here.
To me, it's not.
I'm not worried about being. It would be great. All those things would be great. But just to know that I have wanted to write a book for so many years, because I know my story is so similar to everybody else's, right? And not everybody gets the opportunity to write it down.
Not many. But I always say this, like, as in my heart of hearts, is that you've taken all the years that you've seen the struggle, and then you put it into word form.
Yeah.
For people do want to know your story. And it's just like, she goes, I can do this for this many people.
Yeah.
You multiply it, you cultivate it, you go out. I can see like where you'll speak to many more people.
Well, this whole book is about common sense, practical medicine. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to market it to, just the basic common people. That's what I am. I am just a girl from Gilbertsville, Kentucky, who grew up.
You ain't common, girl.
Whose grandmother lived in Possum Trot, Kentucky. I got married in Tatumsville, which is between, Monkey's Eyebrow and Paducah and all those things. And I got married in Tatumsville, Kentucky. I mean, that ought to tell me something right there. But anyway, it's just a common book. I want a common sense book that anybody could pick it up, from Harvard educated to somebody who just, did 8th grade education, right? And could say, you know what? I'm going to learn how to eat well. And I don't sleep well. And I've got too much stress, and I don't move the body that God gave me. So that's my goal. 2020 is going to be exciting. What about you? What's up?
Oh, no,
for you?
that's more. No, this is like drop the mic.
Oh,
she's got 2020 going crazy.
Tell me.
Now, when she's on TV, I'll be like, Dani, I think you're very sophisticated, and I love you so much.
Yeah, right.
So when you are doing things, darling,
can you imagine?
With me, it's just the norm.
The norm. He's practicing in California now.
A little bit.
A little bit. I don't ever get to see him because he's always on an airplane to LAX.
LAX, but no, we have the new tea shop about to be open.
Yes, he's opening a new business in the L&L marketplace, and you've got to go down there.
Get some teas, and but like Dani, we are just. I think it's a common thing where people who are practitioners, where people want to hear a message or what you spread or what you believe. We write more, we try to put more content out, more video content out. So we've been doing more of that. I am trying to put a bit more, we talked about it before, ebooks a bit about like certain common conditions. Maybe eventually put like a book out, like different things that people have asked me about, but that's what we're doing now. And we've got guys, you got to watch this. I don't know anything about it because I did shoot it, but the next Ask Dr. Motley is coming out on Thursday. It's really fun. We did this whole film in the middle of Nashville where I was running down the street in the middle of the night.
The middle of the night?
Yeah. for my art, for what we do, for our health anyway. But that's what we're doing. So the L&L Marketplace, new office location. We'll have a place in Franklin a day or so a week, and then we'll have it in Nashville, but where people can come down and have teas and lattes and stuff, but specialized teas that help with health. And that's what we're going to try to do.
That's going to be awesome. And he's right across the street from my good friend Holly Rollins, right across the aisle, who owns the Savory Spice Shop. And so I'm so excited because I went to see Holly the other day and I was buying Christmas presents and all this. And then she took me across to see your place and we just peeked in the windows. And I was like, oh, look, it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
We got the new tabletops and everything coming in this next couple.
Oh, it's exciting. So that's great. I'm thrilled to death.
But I'm saying this, like, with everything that you're doing, though. Okay, so we have that. You've got 2020. January is coming out. We're going to be doing that. Are you going to have, like you say, you're going on trips next year?
I'm going on trips next week, too. I am leaving the 27th. I'm flying to New York City to meet with Betsy Greenleaf and be the guest on her podcast, The Sum of Your Parts, which she's the first female board-certified urogynecologist in the 90s. This was urogynecology, so just pelvic stuff. So the sum of your parts. It's kind of cool. That's our podcast. And so I'm going to be talking about two things. We're actually going to be recording two different podcasts, one on low-dose naltrexone, and then I'll be focusing on like pelvic floor health and all. And then the second one's going to be on the book on the 6 steps to healing, on my practice and how it's just common sense, practical medicine. So I fly out on the 27th and I come back on the 29th.
That's a quick stay.
It is a quick stay, but I'm staying at a really cool place in Soho called 60 Soho 60. I don't know. Anyway, I'm really excited about that. I've never stayed down in Soho, and I actually staying on the street I worked on when I lived in New York City on Thompson Street. So I'm really excited about that. And we're gonna video or record that. So next Sunday there won't be a Sunday night service because I'll be on an airplane landing at 7 something. But January the 5th will be the next Sunday night service. And I'm actually going to start that one off with, are you going to be around? I don't know if you're going to be around. We're going to talk about just the new year, detoxing, cleansing, eating well while boosting your energy.
The first and second week of January, I can't do it. But the third weekend I should be available. I mean, we could do it.
Okay. Well, we're talking about fatty liver on January 12th.
I can't. That's the third. I got to finish up a lot of acupuncture, Chinese medicine training. That it's almost one of my last weekends.
On the 12th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I've got to do one conference for neuroimmunology in Phoenix. But I will tell you the dates like in January. I'm open.
Okay.
We can do that.
Well, let me know in January. The 19th, Nick Hollenbach is going to be on here. Nick is one of my all-time favorites. He's an amazing massage therapist, myofascial release. He's been doing this for 19 years, and he's going to talk about the history of myofascial release and what it is and what the fascia is in your body. So that's January 19th, which is the day after my birthday. I'm so excited. So this last Friday night, my office, for part of our Christmas party, I took the girls to Sur La Table in Brentwood, and we had a French cooking class. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but we did a French cooking class together, and it was so much fun. We learned how to roast chicken and vegetables and make sauces. And of course we made gluten crepes, and I didn't eat them. Actually, I think only 2 people ate the crepes, and they were like, what? But they didn't realize they were cooking for a gluten-free place. So anyway, that was a ton of fun. But guys, I love you all. I am grateful and I have gratitude, man, every single day that I get up and say, thank you, Jesus. I get to do what I love. If you don't love your job, find a new job.
Yeah.
I did. And like once I got fired, so I got chosen, selectively chosen to leave, which was the best thing that ever happened to me because look what I get to do now, so that was a big blessing. So grateful, considering dedicating the book to the asshole that fired me at Western Baptist Hospital and told me, you're not smart enough to be in the emergency room, Dani. I'm sorry, I should not say a-hole. But I am so grateful for him. You don't even know, but he is going to get a beautiful package when this book comes out. And it's going to have a handwritten thank you so much for telling me I wasn't smart enough to work in the emergency room. And I'm going to send him all kinds of wellness, great stuff.
On Dr. Oz, I'd be like this. I'd be like, thank you very much, my darlings. But till next time. And walk off.
Anyway, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Merry Christmas.
We'll be back next year. We're going to be doing some good fun stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun. 2020, man, it's going to rock it. We are going to have the best year ever in 2020. New year, new decade.
Be grateful. Practice gratitude.
That's exactly right.
Gratitude creates happiness, and then you'll see the joy in life around you.
That's
it is
exactly
a practice. Right. Yeah, it's like me and Danny would be like the first people to tell you, like, why would we do what we do? We don't go in like thinking that everybody's going to come to us and go, we feel 100% better. We say repetition.
Yes.
And repetition in ourselves and our patients is what creates their healing.
You bet it does.
That's what you got to
do. Continually saying no to gluten, dairy, sugar. That's repetition.
That is.
You bet. And we talk about that all the time. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. If you don't like your job, find a new job. Okay?
That's right.
Be grateful you got one to go to tomorrow, but be looking for a new one. And then let us know.
Decide what you want to be and go be it.
Go be it. Man, we're not getting any younger over here.
Nope. We're getting like, she's going to be all movie star action, doing her thing. And I'm going to be like this. And we're going to be like, I'm going to be like, I want to be the person who carries her briefcase. And I'm like, what?
Oh, he's so full of crap. It's just that I'm 54 and he's like 22.
Whatever.
And I have way less time to get these things done. All right, guys, we appreciate you. Merry Christmas. If you don't have it done, don't worry about it. It's not going to be, it doesn't matter. Christmas is going to come. He doesn't have anything bought. Not one thing.
I'll see you guys. Love you.
Lord, love you. Bye.
Bye.